Today I decided to use my sourdough starter discard to make sourdough crackers. However, even if you don't have discard, you can still make these tasty and simple crackers. So let's get started. For our ingredients today, I've got 1 cup of sourdough starter. However, if you don't have that, you can just substitute it with 1 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of water, because let's face it, that's really what sourdough starter is, that and some yeast. The nice thing about these crackers is that they're really fairly easy to make. You're just going to dump all of your ingredients into the mixer, or if you're mixing by hand, just dumping them all into a bowl. Make sure that they're well mixed, and you want to have a smooth, cohesive dough. You don't want it to be too sticky. After your dough is well mixed, divide the dough in half and shape each half into a small rectangular slab. Then we're going to cover this with plastic wrap and stick it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. But you can even extend that up to a couple of hours if you need to. However, usually when I'm cooking, it's because I want to eat it right now, so I'm only going to take the 30 minutes. While your dough is cooling in the refrigerator, this is the perfect time to go ahead and preheat your oven to 350 degrees and gather the rest of your necessary supplies and ingredients to finish off the cracker making. Here you see I've gotten my baking sheets, 2 sheets of parchment paper that I'm actually going to roll my dough out on, a dough cutter, but you could easily use a pizza cutter, a brush to brush my oil on, but you can also use spray oil. I'm a really big fan of the spray olive oil. And I have something to prick the holes in my crackers, but you can just use a fork. And of course, you're going to need a rolling pin. Once the dough has cooled, it's time to get rolling and shaping. Very lightly flour a piece of parchment, your rolling pin, and the top of the dough. You want to roll the dough out to about 1/16 of an inch thick. Remember, these are crackers, so the thicker they are, the more they're going to be like breadsticks, and the thinner they are, the more they're going to be like crackers. Now, I actually do like my crackers to have a little bit of chewiness to it, so I don't actually roll all the way down to 1/16 of an inch. But for the crispity crunch of a cracker, 1/16 of an inch is what you would roll to. When you're rolling, try to make sure that you keep your shape as even as possible. You don't want to have any ragged edges on it, because those won't bake evenly. I went ahead and cut off my ragged edges because I don't like to see them. Don't worry, I just re-roll my ragged edge dough and then just make a whole nother sheet. Once you're finished rolling out your dough, transfer the dough and the parchment paper onto a baking sheet. At this time, I like to go ahead and prick my holes in it. The pricking of the holes is to allow the steam to escape in the crackers, similar to how you prick holes in a pie crust when you pre-bake it. After pricking the holes, lightly brush with oil and sprinkle the salt over the top of the crackers. Then cut the dough into whatever shape you prefer. I'm pretty boring here, so I've just cut mine into squares. Now it's time to go into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Halfway through baking, reverse the baking sheets if you have 2 of them, and also rotate the baking sheets so that the crackers will brown evenly. Once the crackers have browned, remove them from an oven and transfer into a cooling rack. Serve with your favorite side, including homemade hummus, and enjoy.